The table shows Jose's cell phone charge remaining after X hours of leaving the house, where Y represents the charge remaining on his battery. Write the equation in the slope-intercept form that matches this situation. So, generally, when we have a table of values, first of all, what is the slope-intercept form? So we want to start by just recalling what slope-intercept form. So we know Y is equal to mx plus b. That represents the slope-intercept form, where we know m represents our slope and b represents our y-intercept. Now, in order for us to derive or write the equation, we have to use the points on the table. So I am going to select 2 points to use on the table. So the first point that I'm going to use is the point 0, 28. And then the second point that I'm going to use is the point 4, 14. So those are the 2 points that I'm going to be using. And we're going to write those down. So that is 0.1, 0, 28, and 0.2, 4, 14. And just a quick reminder for us, first coordinate is our x, the second is y, x, y. In order to calculate slope, we know that our slope is change in y divided by change in x So what is going to be our change in y? Well, we are going to use our y coordinates to calculate the change in y. And we can start out using the second point. No, I don't want to use that. Using the second point. So it's 14. I want to keep my pens consistent. 14 minus, what's the other one? 28. Divided by, what's our change in y? In x, 4 and 0 are our x coordinates, so that's what we want to use. We're going to start with the 4 minus 0. When we take away 28 from 14, that leaves a negative 14 because we're taking a larger number from a smaller number. And 4 minus 0 is 4. So our slope is negative 14 over 4, which when we reduce it, that will become a negative 3.5. So that's going to represent our m in the equation. The next thing we need to do is we need to find the y-intercept. Now, according to what we know about the y-intercept, the y-intercept occurs from our topic on functions. It occurs where x is equal to 0. So in our table, which pair of coordinates has x equal to 0? This is 0, 28. So this is serving as, it has two purposes. All right, so it occurs where x is equal to that. So the point (0, 28) It's also the x-intercept. Sorry, the y-intercept. So B is going to be equal to 28. So we know what B is. So B is 28 and M is 3.5. Those are the important pieces that we need for our equation. So if we're thinking about the equation, y is equal to mx plus b. We're replacing what is now known. That's going to be a negative 3.5x plus 28. And that would be our equation.